Hello, this is Naowori. This time, the character is Chizuru, one of the Ichigoku. If you handle her well, she's really strong, but if not, she can end up being a punching bag. Compared to 97, the character's performance itself has been significantly nerfed, but since the characters who used to be Chizuru's counters in the previous game have been heavily nerfed, she's actually become much stronger. However, as I mentioned earlier, she's really a character for top level players, so her pick rate is naturally low. These days, since top Chinese players are so good at dealing with Chizuru, her pick rate has dropped even more. But for casual players like us, she's still definitely top tier, and since we won't be facing those top players anyway, with just a bit of practice, she's a great character to use to increase your win rate. This A move has unexpectedly strong hitboxes. The startup is quick and gives good frame advantage on hit. Far and close versions perform like the close version, so they're also good for stopping short hop rushes. You can follow up with an extra hit on a pound hit or counter hit, but in the heat of an intense match, it's hard to land it as a guaranteed hit. Just know that it's possible to get an extra follow-up, and you can use it as a risky option when you're low on health. Even the neighbor's Poppy wouldn't use A for close range. It's a bad idea. This is Chizuru's crouching A, which you can pretty much say has no recoil, it's A. The startup speed isn't bad, and the hitbox is decent, but the reach is quite short, so you can't really do much with it on its own. If I had to show you, you can hit like this. But there's really no reason to start with crouching A. Chizuru's vertical jump A is actually pretty good for air-to-air situations. Her vertical jump isn't as good as Ralph's vertical jump A, or Shingo's vertical jump B, but those moves are almost broken in top tier. Her vertical jump A can also interrupt or counter even Chris's jump C if you time it right, so it's still quite effective. That doesn't mean you should rely on it blindly, but if you want to annoy your opponent, use it. This is an excellent forward and backward jump A with a great hitbox. However, even though the hitbox looks good, if you face opponents with even slightly good uppercuts, you'll get punished right away. Actually, it's a basic move that you don't really have to use, but since the hitbox is so good, I think it's worth paying attention to. I could say that it can be used to cut off short hops. As an anti-air, its hitbox is much worse than A's. The attack hitbox only exists on the upper side, so you might think it can be used as an anti-air, but the hurt box is also extremely large, so instead of trading hits, you might just end up getting hit yourself. You can cut off the opponent's strong attacks thanks to the reach, but it's quite vulnerable to short hop light attack rushes. This close range turtle kick is too slow to be effective on its own. If it hits on its own, you can land moves like this, but it's almost impossible to confirm a hit and also hard to land. You can follow a crouching B with a close range B. If you land one at close range, you can easily follow up with the foundation move. That's why Chizuru's crouching B is so effective. It has excellent startup speed, a pretty long reach, and when it activates, the hurt box also becomes smaller. You can mash it for multiple hits, but that's not really the important part. Hey! If you just practice using the special move after a low attack, your win rate can go up. This isn't a basic move like rushing in or using it for defense, it's jump B. Chizuru's jump move is mainly used as a rising overhead attack. Even though it's not exactly fast to activate, it has a hitbox that reaches pretty far down, so it's possible. Chizuru's rising overhead is tricky because after her poke is guarded, she can mix opponents up with either a low or the overhead. Since attacks can deal heavy damage even to tough characters like Mutadan, using a rising overhead for mix-ups after a poke is crucial. This is her main zoning move, Far C, which has fast startup and decent hitbox. The hitbox appears sequentially from the bottom to the top, and since its reach is quite long, it's excellent for zoning. If you keep using it, the opponent might get caught during a small hop rush. If you just want to stop small hop attacks, A has a better hitbox. No matter how fast it is, the hitbox starts low, so if you're even a bit late, you'll get hit in the head. This is close C, Chizuru's fastest basic move. You can think of the startup frames as being comparable to Q or EOB. Since the hitbox is so high, it misses shorter characters, making it awkward as a main move. This is Stab C, which you'll end up using quite often, whether you're up close or at a distance. The motion itself is quite similar to Far C, but the hitbox performance is a bit inferior compared to the ranged version. However, while Far C couldn't be cancelled, Crouching C can even be jump cancelled, making it much more versatile. Even though the hitbox itself is a bit weaker, this basic move is used a lot because it allows you to land additional hits even from a distance. As you can see, the reach is quite long, so once it connects, it's easy to follow up with a special move. Jump C has insane performance when rushing in head-on. People who aren't aware will likely rush in with Jump D, but its hitbox is so one-sided it's nearly broken. If your opponent is really good at anti-air, it's better to rush in with C rather than D. If you dash across the screen with afterimage and a small jump, Chizuru wins unless interrupted. Also, by using the amazing hitbox, you can show powerful zoning even when retreating. This is a Far D that you almost never have a reason to use unless it's by mistake. The range isn't bad, but it moves forward too much and is too slow to be suitable for zoning. If your opponent has a quick move or attack, they'll quickly punish your delay and catch you. In the end, even basic moves that don't seem to have a shield become quite useful against zoning. Thanks to the forward-moving basic attack, you can easily get close and land additional hits. This is the close D that's mainly used for safe combos. It's one frame slower than close C, but it's still a fast move, and it has a hitbox that can catch opponents even if they try to jump. If the opponent is short like this, close C can't hit, but D can, which makes it quite reliable. Since you can combo into special moves, you can easily deal big damage. This is Crouching D, and it has a surprisingly long reach. The hitbox isn't great, but being cancelable gives Chizuru a big advantage. If you use this together with Chuksa, you can apply insane pressure, making it a really strong option. Even if the opponent techs, you can still make good use of it, and even if it's blocked, there's not much risk, so it's pretty solid. It's a good Jump D for rushing in and works well for air-to-air. Jump D can be used for cross-up attacks, so with good timing it can change the game. Cross-ups let you combo after a jump attack mid-screen, making it a very strong basic move. This is the A command normal called Jang Jang, central to Chijuru's combos. With recoil, it can hit as an overhead, but that's rarely practical. It's mainly for combos, and since it moves you forward, it's great for following up basic attacks from a distance. Used after a basic attack, the hitback ensures that adding the finisher makes it nearly impossible for your opponent to punish you, even if blocked. D-Red is a top-tier sliding special move. It activates quickly, moves you forward a lot, and even has a much smaller hurt box when used. You can easily dodge flying projectiles while airborne. And because the hurt box is so small, you can even use the sliding move as an anti-air. If you use it with A, the clone rises. With C, the main body rises. However, when you use it with A, there is no invincibility at all, so it's not suitable for anti-air purposes. When you need invincibility, you should only use C. He got hit by the anti-air angle for using the light version. Using the heavy version's long invincibility frames, you can negate the anti-air angle. This is Chizuru's core move, Chuksa. When you use A or B, a clone appears, and when you use C or D, the main body charges forward. If your opponent avoids Chuksa and gets in, you can quickly use the follow-up to get away. If you've conditioned them with Chuksa, this will hit, or you can approach with the real body version of Chuksa and immediately set up a left-right mix-up. For other unshielded moves not shown, I use them in national matches. If you're curious, try them yourself while studying. Using the pose to open a path lets you stun with a strong attack and finish a combo in one move. But even if you don't use it to open up a path, it greatly increases the stun gauge, so it's still terrifying to use on its own. Usually, landing one or two more hits here will trigger the stun. This setup can create a stun not only in the corner, but also mid-screen. Because this move works even on Zhangguang and Zhangguan, who have the highest defense, you should master this easy high damage Chizuru combo. Since Chizuru also has setup patterns, let's cover those in the next video. If you have a different opinion, you're always right, so you don't need to leave aggressive comments.